You ever just have one of those days? This is my third attempt to make this video because every time I turn around, a battery dies. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening, whatever time you're watching this video. Welcome back to my channel. I have to say, I am a YouTube addict. I watch YouTube videos more than just about anything else on my television. I have Netflix, I have Amazon Prime, I now have access to CBS All Access, I have hundreds of cable channels, and YouTube is where I spend probably 90% of my time. One of the things that I have become addicted to is MasterChef. I know, don't judge. Now, I would never watch this show on TV because watching the whole thing for an hour would just be boring to me. But watching little snippets here and there, 7 minutes, 10 minutes long, of a particular challenge and result is fascinating to me because I like to cook and I am horrible at plating dishes. So the other day I was watching an episode where the idea was to create a very simple salad, just a simple salad. But it was to raise the profile of the ingredients. That was the challenge. A simple salad that raises the profile of the ingredients. And as the chefs went around and looked at each contestant's salad, some of them looked just absolutely wonderful. And they came back to a lady in the back who knew up front that her salad did not turn out the way she wanted. She had made a tomato and radish and blue cheese salad, and she had taken different types of tomatoes with different colors, and she'd sliced them in different ways, some of them wedged, some of them square, some of them whatever. But when she got it in the bowl, they all just sort of sunk down together and became more of a mush. And she knew immediately that she was not going to please the chefs. So when they came around, obviously they made that comment. They critiqued her salad and they said that, you know, it basically looked awful. And you could see in her face she was starting to tear up a little bit. The critique was pretty harsh up front. And then one of the chefs said, look, I really like what you did here with cutting these tomatoes in different slices. And he started pulling them out. Well, let me just show you. This is the salad that she made. And I think we can all agree that any of us could do this at home, maybe even better. It was not her best work. And so as the chef began to pull tomatoes out and put them on the table and highlight the different cuts and the different colors and the different textures and added some radish slices, and another chef came along and drizzled a little oil over the top of it, it began to look like this. And you could see in the contestant's eyes, I mean, her eyes just lit up. It was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this? This is beautiful. This is fantastic. And so then they challenged her, take the blue cheese and you put the blue cheese in here. And by the time she was done, she had a really nice presentation of this salad. Now, it was too late, obviously. The chefs had already judged what she did up front. But the critique and the demonstration of how to improve and the actual use of her own self to do part of the improvement is exactly what we do in the classroom as teachers. We critique students' work and then we show them this is how you can make this better. Especially, I was an English teacher. This is how you can write this sentence better. This is how you can structure this paragraph better. This is how these 3 paragraphs could flow together better. Now you try it. And so stay with me here. I have a point. Stick with me. So recently I got an email, as I am prone to do, from Kelby One. I am a subscriber to the Kelby One website. And normally I get these emails because I'm at work. I get these emails too late. This one I happened to see in time. And they were going to do, at 4 o'clock that afternoon, they were going to do a live blind critique of photos. Now, I love that show on the grid. I love it when they show these pictures. People's photographs are just awesome. and they go through them. They tell about how to improve them, what they like about them, what they don't like about them. Sometimes they do a little re-edit. And I thought, you know what? Today's the day. I'm going to submit 3 pictures. Now, I wasn't at home, so I didn't have access to my full library of photography. All I had access to were some photo albums I'd thrown up to Google Photos. And so I began to look through there, and there are 2 types of shots that Scott Kelby talks about. There are the hero shots. These are the shots that you take and you really want people to see. They're the shots that you would print and put on a wall. They're the shot that you would highlight in a photo book. They are the ones that draw people's attention, the hero shots. And then there are the fill shots. And so you might take a hero shot of a restaurant where you're going out to eat while you're traveling with your family, or in my case, traveling by yourself. And then in fill shots, you might take pictures of the silverware or the appetizer or something along, the signage just outside the door. Fill shots that don't really have a lot of meaning on their own, but they help to tell the story. I could not find a hero shot. And so I was tempted not to upload anything. And then I thought, you know what? If I had a hero shot, I would probably be too afraid to upload it. And the reason for that is because I struggle with some self-esteem issues. I know it's hard to tell, but I struggle with some self-esteem issues. And it's hard for me to put my best work out there. It's easier for me, and I know it doesn't make any sense at all, but inside my brain, somehow it helps to bring this about. If I put out work that's not quite my best, and then it gets ripped up, I can feel pretty good about that because I knew it wasn't my best stuff anyway. So I found 3 fill shots. And they were totally different kinds of shots, and they weren't great shots. I knew they weren't great when I uploaded them. And that was demonstrated to me quite plainly during the critique. So the first shot that I uploaded was this one, and it is of a spiral staircase, and I specifically chose it because I knew that Scott Kelby liked spiral staircases. Now, keep in mind, because I chose 3 really mediocre shots with really nothing going on in them, I never in a million years thought they would be chosen for this show. Well, the joke's on me. So as I watched the show later after it had aired on YouTube, I came around to the point, almost to the end, when my 3 pictures came up. And so I was prepared. I was prepared for the worst. And so anyway, this shot came up and Scott Kelby said, oh, spiral staircase. I love spiral staircases, but I don't understand why you have this thing over here on the left. And he did a quick edit of my picture and it looked like this. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, it's just like that simple salad challenge. I don't even remember why I left that in the image, probably because I like geometry shots. And I had these curved lines on one side of the image, and then I had this rectangle on the other side of the image, and the juxtaposition of those 2 things probably stuck out in my head as saying, oh, this could be interesting. But I was wrong. When that was taken out of the image improved about a bazillion times. Just that one little simple, quick edit. And that's what the critique is all about. Now, the other 2 pictures, I mean, I'll show them to you. Here's a picture that I put up. It's of a guy in a butcher shop. I think it was in Borough Market in London when our family went over there. And it's not a great picture, obviously. There's nothing going on in this picture. It's a little soft on the focus. It's very noisy. But I like this picture as a fill shot for this one simple reason. Up in the upper left-hand corner, I've got all of this meat hanging down. And then in the lower right-hand corner, I've got this guy doing the butchering shop. And then in the middle, I have this cow looking straight at the camera going, really? This is really what you're doing to me right now? And so those 3 elements all together sort of made this, to me, an interesting fill shot for my family photo album. But the first thing that Scott Kelby said was, "Oh, another picture with the foreground blurred. I am so over foregrounds being blurred." That's not a direct quote, but that's pretty close. And to be honest with you, that had not really struck me as being in any way even part of the picture. It was a necessary evil from where I was standing to get the shot. But once he said that, that's all I could see. All I could see was that blurred focus in the front that totally destroyed this image. I mean, destroyed it. That was hard to take. And then the third picture, I'll go ahead and show it to you. Again, family trip to England. It's a fill shot in my family photo album. And I like this picture because after I had done some transforming and straightening lines and getting all the perspectives back in the way I wanted it, turned it into black and white, I had this walkie-talkie building sort of leaning over everything as a way of saying, "Hey, I'm spying on you down there in the street." I thought it was a cute shot. Scott Kelby's critique was very simple. "Oh, another picture of some buildings that everybody's taking pictures of. And he wasn't wrong. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't wrong. And I'm not trying to talk to you about the pictures in any way to defend them. I'm just trying to tell you why I like them and how I use them. But in a critique on their own, these three pictures were lousy. And so the final words from Scott Kelby on my three photos were very simple. These pictures are not bad, but they're not good. And I would agree. I would slightly disagree that middle one is bad, but these pictures are not bad, but they're not good. Now, I survived a critique. I put up some mediocre work. I got blasted for my mediocre work, but I was okay with being blasted because I knew it wasn't my best work. If I had gotten that critique on my best work, I would have been devastated. But I did it, I put it out there, I survived it, and now I'm in the process of finding 3 hero shots and getting them ready. And the next time there is a grid blind critique, 3 hero shots are going up because I want to see what professional photographers think of my work. Now, I put a lot of pictures on Instagram, and I have friends of mine who comment, "Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, I love that. Oh, you've got such a great eye." Scott Kelby said, "My recommendation to you would be to continue to look at other photographers' work because you don't quite have the vision yet." And he's right. I struggle with that. I do. I struggle with that. So here, I guess, is the point of this video. It is important, even as amateur photographers, that we find people who know much more about this craft than we do to critique our photos. And to give us honest, bone-crushing advice about how to improve. Because without that, we are going to be stuck in mediocrity, and we're going to be stuck doing amateur work as amateur photographers. And I don't mind being an amateur photographer, but I want to learn to do professional work. And so this was an important step for me. I would encourage you to do the same. Doesn't have to be Kelby One, it could be anywhere else. Print some images, put them in a contest somewhere where critique is given by the judges. Doesn't matter if you win, doesn't matter if you lose. What matters are the comments. What do they offer you? And then, I promise you, no matter how bad, no matter how hurtful, no matter how blistering it feels at the moment, you're going to be okay. So in the meantime, take lots of pictures. Take good pictures, take bad pictures, take hero shots, take fill shots. Practice editing, do 4 or 5 different edits on the same photo. Figure out what you like, figure out what makes you happy, but above all, also have somebody look at these images of yours to help you determine how to be better. You will survive. Until next time, enjoy some coffee. Be sure and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already, and click the little bell so you get a notification every time we upload a new video, and we'll see you in the next episode.